Designer we coming, she poppin' too. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with me. She ain't gon' waste no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on the shit. And she ain't gon' waste no time. Rolex studded with stones and flooded gym.
Unorthodox speed.
She ain't gon' waste no time. 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 Rolex is steady with stones and gems. And she ain't gon' waste no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on that shit. And she ain't gon' waste no. On the road, she gon' get it. Duffel bag, she come equipped. Fully loaded and extended. She ain't gon' wait no time. Pulling out the light and it brand new. The bag on the arm cost a whip too. Half flip to the side, nails done too. Feet gon' match, little baby so cute. Ooh, she ain't gon' waste. Pull up in the wood, speed race. Drop the top, hop in, let me chase you. Girl like to play tag with you, it's basic. You come through. Designer on you like you. Girl, if it's a secret, I'm immune. With the heavens up above from you. Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with you. She ain't gon' wait no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no time. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. No. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. Nah, she ain't gon' waste no. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no.
Get her ass a round of applause, she bought it. She gon' wear a crown hard and say that she got it. She gon' shake that ass for the hustlers in the bottom. Shout out to her cousin and her friends, they taught her. She got her degree like a granny and her mama. Fuck them little niggas, you don't want them, you don't need them. Don't trust the white man, they all just greedy. Don't trust these bitches, they'll gossip your secrets. Lips stay wet like a string she licking. You got a big bag where her bag is deeper. Give a nigga chills like Jeepers, Creepers. Eyes wide shut, but shorty still peeping. Big Draco with a drum she keepin'. Big Draco with a drum she get her ass around.
Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them coming, she coming with me. And she ain't gon' waste no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on the shit. And she ain't gon' wait no time. The Rolex is flooded with stones and gems. My God. It's on it. Let's do the stones. Nene and Birkin, she on it. Designer with coming, she poppin' too. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with me. She ain't gon' waste no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no time. Rolex studded with stones and flooded gems.
Unorthodox speed.
She ain't gon' waste no time. 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 Rolex is steady with stones and gems. And she ain't gon' waste no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on that shit. And she ain't gon' waste no. On the road, she gon' get it. Duffel bag, she come equipped. Fully loaded and extended. She ain't gon' wait no time. Pulling out the light and it brand new. The bag on the arm cost a whip too. Half flip to the side, nails done too. Feet gon' match, little baby so cute. Ooh, she ain't gon' waste. Pull up in the wood, speed race. Drop the top, hop in, let me chase you. Girl like to play tag with you, it's basic. You come through. Designer on you like you. Girl, if it's a secret, I'm immune. With the heavens up above from you. Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with you. She ain't gon' wait no time. Sinead and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no time. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. No. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. Nah, she ain't gon' waste no. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' waste
waste no time.
Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no.
Get that ass a round of applause, she bought it. She gon' wear a crown hard and say that she got it. She gon' shake that ass for the hustlers in the bottom. Shout out to her cousin and the friends, they taught her. She got her degree like a granny and her mama. Fuck them little niggas, you don't want me, you don't need them. Don't trust the white man, they all just greedy. Don't trust these bitches, they'll gossip your secrets. Let's stay wet like a string she licking. You got a big bag where her bag is deeper. Give a nigga chills like Jeepers, Creepers. Eyes wide shut, but shorty still peeping. Big Draco with a drum, she keepin'. Big Draco with a drum, she get that ass around.
Designer is coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them coming, she coming with them. And she ain't gon' waste no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. And she ain't gon' waste no time. The Rolex is flooded with stones and gems. My God. It's on it. It's laced to the stone. Nene and Birkin, she on it. Designer with coming, she poppin' tails. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with me. She ain't gon' waste no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no time. Rolex studded with stones and flooded gems.
Unorthodox speed.
She ain't gon' waste no time. 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 Rolex is steady with stones and gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on that shit. And she ain't gon' waste no. On the road, she gon' get it. Duffel bag, she come equipped. Fully loaded and extended. She ain't gon' wait no time. Pulling out the light and it brand new. The bag on the arm cost a whip too. Half flip to the side, nails done too. Feet gon' match, little baby so cute. Ooh, she ain't gon' waste. Pull up in the wood, speed race. Drop the top, hop in, let me chase you. Girl like to play tag with you, it's basic. You come through. Designer on you like you. Girl, if it's a secret, I'm immune. With the heavens up above from you. Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with you. She ain't gon' wait no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no time. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' wait no time. 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 Nah, she ain't gon' waste no. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no.
Get that ass a round of applause, she bought it. She gon' wear a crown hard and say that she got it. She gon' shake that ass for the hustlers in the bottom. Shout out to her cousin and the friends, they taught her. She got her degree like a granny and her mama. Fuck them little niggas, you don't want me, you don't need them. Don't trust the white man, they all just greedy. Don't trust these bitches, they'll gossip your secrets. Let's stay wet like a string she licking. You got a big bag where her bag is deeper. Give a nigga chills like Jeepers, Creepers. Eyes wide shut, but shorty still peeping. Big Draco with a drum, she keepin'. Big Draco with a drum, she get that ass around.
Designer is coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them coming, she coming with them. And she ain't gon' waste no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. And she ain't gon' wait no time. The Rolex is flooded with stones and gems. My God. It's on it. It's laced to the stone. Nene and Birkin, she on it. Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with me. She ain't gon' wait no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no time. Rolex studded with stones and flooded gems.
Unorthodox speed.
She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' waste no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' waste no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. Rolex Lexus is steady, the stones and gems. And she ain't gon' waste no time. She ain't Birkin, she on that shit. And she ain't gon' wait no. On the road, she gon' get it. Duffel bag, she come equipped. Fully loaded and extended. She ain't gon' wait no time. Pulling out the light and it brand new. The bag on the arm cost a whip too. Half flip to the side, nails done too. Feet gon' match, little baby so cute. Ooh, she ain't gon' waste. Pull up in the wood, speed race. Drop the top, hop in, let me chase you. Girl like to play tag with you, it's basic. You come through. Designer on you like a view. Girl, if it's a secret, I'm immune. With the heavens up above from you. Designer with commas, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. You got them dollars, she coming with. She ain't gon' wait no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no time. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. Nah, she ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. Nah, she ain't gon' waste no. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. Shanae and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no time.
Yeah, that's a round of applause.
Yo, what's good, everybody? We back with another Music Monday. On this Monday, man, y'all smash that like button and sub up to the channel if you're new, man. If you haven't subbed up and subscribed already, man, of course, my name is Jeremy Jones, and normally I make content about sneakers and occasional try on hauls, and of course, this is Music Monday. Y'all know my partner Dunks is definitely on the way. He texted me. He should be en route, hopefully by this 30-minute mark, so we should be good. I'm gonna add him on up in this joint, so smash the like button. Y'all see the topic, man. I see we got seems like a lot of people in here today, man. So I guess we got a lot of Melly fans, man. So I definitely want to talk about this trial that's supposed to be started today, allegedly. Now, I seen at the top of the hour, right, that apparently it's starting, but it possibly could be pushed back too. So I just want to go down the rabbit hole of this whole case, man, and get you all his thoughts on it. I know Dunks can't wait to join in this one, so I'm not going to go too deep into it until Dunks hops on. But y'all smash the like button, sub up, sign up for the Sold Out Discord. It is pinned up in the top of the chat, and it is free to sign up. So appreciate everybody for coming through. I see we got a lot of people in the building. What up, Manny, with the kicks? I see you. Let's see. So, let's see. Pretty much, man. Melly, pretty much, if you haven't been living under a rock now, I know just enough about this case to be dangerous, right? Okay, and I say that to say, like, I'm going to pull up some information that I was searching to basically just confirm exactly what all is going on now. To the best of my knowledge, Melly has been locked up since 2019. The case actually started in 2018, but I don't think they actually arrested him until 2019. Now, fun fact, right? Let's see. Pretty much, right? It wasn't just Melly. Apparently, it was 4 people in the car. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, it is pretty much was a double murder, right? And looks like they're saying, and this, again, I want to say everything on this live and this whole entire like chat, everything, this whole live is alleged. I wasn't there. I don't know Melly. I'm just going off the information that's already been provided to the public, right? Okay, that's all I'm doing, and we can have a great conversation about this. Now, I will say this, on the surface of things, it's not looking great, right? Okay, it's not looking that great. I will not for Melly, but at the same time, I still think there's a chance. I know when Dunks hops on a live, I know one thing that he is gonna say. He is pretty much gonna say, Dunks personally have told me several times, and he tells me this during the live, right? He's told me that I should probably just go to law school because I always give people the benefit of the doubt, and that's going to be no difference tonight with Melly. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, I don't personally think he did it. I don't know. But at the same time, Manny, I got your message. We good. I saw what you said up in the Discord. Appreciate it, homie. Whatever. I got you. I'm going to read through the chat a little bit, too, before we get onto this joint. But if that's what you feel, Manny, I'm going to let you ride with the decision. It's cool. But I will say all this to say, right? Melly's facing double murder. And apparently, right, the trial. So how a trial works, right? Because I see somebody just says, when is the trial? Technically, it should have started today. We'll probably see some updates later tonight. But they got to pick jury. So he's doing a trial by jury. Now, fun fact, I know this personally because obviously I've been in some legal trouble as well. One of the most expensive trials you can have is a trial by jury. If you ever been to court, if you ever done anything legal wise and you had an attorney, you automatically know you spent some money. So I hate to know how much Melly them has been throwing at this case, but he's fighting for his freedom. Now, he's saying he's not guilty, obviously, right? You know, and let's just keep it 100. One thing that people don't bring up is there were 4 people in the car. They bring this up. I thought, right, before I kind of glanced at this, right? Apparently, only 2 people got killed. I thought all 3 of them got killed, but I was wrong. It's 2 people that got killed. Apparently, these were his homies. And him and the other guy pretty much said they didn't do it. And apparently, the story goes, and I only say that because I don't know there, and this is alleged, it was a drive-by shooting, right? Okay, drive-by shooting. So, I'm assuming, right? The story, apparently, when it got back to, I guess, the police department, it's not adding up at the way the shooting is and stuff like that. And that information has been out there. So, again, I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying this is what it is. Now, this is one of the things that's kind of bothered me the whole entire time, right? And this is just across the board in our country. It is, you're innocent till proven guilty. Now, if you're innocent till proven guilty, why hasn't this man been granted bail? They have a strong, and usually when you don't get granted bail, that means they have a strong possibility to believe that you did it. That don't mean he did it. I'm not saying he did it, but I'm saying he's tried to go for bail several times. I mean, think about it. I know he's released music behind bars. Another fun fact, right? I've also heard, because I've been keeping up with this case for quite some time. Think about it. Homies, this case been going on for 5 years. He's been locked up for 4. Now, I will say this. Apparently, one of the attorneys he has hired is Boosie's lawyer. Now, if you're not familiar with Lil Boosie, which at this point I'm assuming if you hear and you know music, you know who Lil Boosie is. Boosie pretty much was on trial for death row. So this is the same kind of case that Melly is going through. Now, from what I'm hearing also, if Melly doesn't beat this case, they're going to give him the chair, which apparently that's a common thing. Apparently that's a common thing in Florida. Don't quote me, but apparently if he doesn't beat this case, he's going to get the chair. There's several types of ways whenever you're being sentenced to death, right? I've seen it where people get the needle. Apparently that hurts really, apparently that's not a smooth thing. The way it like infects your body and stuff like that, it's a slow, painful death. Now the chair, apparently it shocks you until you just gone. And then I'm pretty sure there's another way they used to do it. But either way, right? I can't believe that's actually on the table. But apparently they're trying to, I feel like part of this is a tactic to scare this man. But again, he hasn't pled guilty to anything. He's keeping his innocence, and you're innocent till proven guilty, right? We're just going to keep it 100. Let me see what Manny with the kick says. Says this case going to take a while before we get any news on it. This is true. This is my thing. If you think about, I hate to compare it to the YSL case. They're still picking jurors right now. You know, case technically started, but it ain't started. This is just a beginning process. They got to pick jurors, and apparently it's going to be 8 jurors to the best of my knowledge, right? Okay, so apparently, but my thing is this, I guess it has to be an even number. What happens if it's a 50-50 split, like, 4-on-4? There's a pill too. I thought there was a pill, Manny, as well. I just didn't want to say it out loud because I was like, I think there's a pill, but don't quote me. But I'm almost positive there is a pill. So, I've also seen it where people who have been sentenced to death row, and I guess they wait in line to actually pretty much I guess do whatever they're gonna do. I've also heard that they give you a last meal request, which is kind of, I don't know how I feel about that. But I say all that to say, I've seen it where people actually reopen the case while the people were on death row. Basically, you're waiting to be killed, right? Hopefully YouTube doesn't flag this channel, and hopefully it doesn't do anything, because again, this is all alleged. I ain't trying to do all that. Let's see. They could easily, right, when you're on death row, I've also seen it where some people got off death row. Boosie got off that joint. You know what I mean? So it's kind of one of those, it's not a last hope for Melly, I feel like. Now, I'm going to give him credit where credit is due. Homie was at the peak of his career dropping music, and he seems to be in all smiles. Now, I will say this. I'm going to play devil's advocate. I could see where they could see where the story doesn't necessarily like line up, so to speak. You know, I'm not saying he did it or anything like that, but again, I can see where they're at it. But at the same time, like there's no other suspects because apparently if there was a drive-by shooting, and apparently I guess it should have been way more bullets according. I don't think you can't really make a guess off like, okay, cool, they only shot through the car X amount of times. That's not how that works. I'm like, depends on how many bullets those people had. You know what I mean? Let's see. Yayo says, bruh, he guilty as fuck. Too much evidence against him. If he didn't do it, then hope the best, but it's definitely not looking good. But I'm gonna say this, Yayo. It's still too many loopholes in the story, and only way for it to work, they need him to plead guilty for it, and he's not doing it. Now, I've also seen it where I guess his ex-girlfriend's mother and also his ex-girlfriend may be called to testify, but they have nobody. I will say this: if anybody's holding it down, his family and even his ex-girl and like his ex-girl's mama is holding it down. You know, nobody's want to talk. I think, in fact, they locked up one of them, right? I don't think they locked up the girl, but apparently they think like his ex-girlfriend holds the key to the puzzle, apparently, right? Allegedly. I don't know. Also, I want to say this, right? A lot of people forget that it was another person in the car. There was 4. 2 of them, you know, were killed. But the other guy, he's locked up, I'm assuming, facing the same thing, right? Okay, they think Melly did it. So I'm assuming it's this. And you got to give them credit for, like, loyalty, right? Loyalty. Because at that point, I'm assuming they hoping that one of them crack on the other. But neither one of them has cracked, and both of them have said they're not guilty. You know what I'm saying? So that's really tough. Think about it. If you ever do a crime, I'm going to tell you, most likely, if you don't know the people you with, and we can take XX Tentacion situation where, you know, RP to X, but all 4 of those guys, all it takes is one of them to crack. Now it's 2 of you. This is my thing. There's got to be some real loyalty. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I'm going to know what's going to happen, but some real loyalty here, because reality is, if neither one of them is speaking and trying to blame the other one, then yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's going to be something to take in consideration. You know, they definitely take the no snitching if they know any more information. Because who knows? They say they don't know who the people who did it. Nobody's come forward to say anything. So I can see where they trying to point the finger at somebody. And I feel like, I'm not saying they're gasping at straws, but they've spent a lot of money on this case. And it's gonna show too. But apparently a lot of new evidence that they're throwing at the last minute. This is why I feel like the trial is going to be pushed back a little bit too. Apparently the prosecutors have thrown in a lot of new information on the case that Melly's lawyers haven't had a chance to review. So of course they're gonna ask for an extension to review what the hell they're talking about. You know what I mean? I would just assume that's just gonna be a gimme. Yale says if they free Melly, they have to do the same for Thugger. Them case a whole nother story, because reality is, bro, there's so much stuff that's going on suspect about that situation that, yeah, I could talk for days. Manny with a kick says free Thug and Max B. Most definitely, man. Free them until we actually have real hard evidence that it was them. So what do I think will happen, right? I'm going to say this. It can go either way. Right now, I think he still got a 50-50 chance, which is basically what he got right now. I think he still has a 50-50 chance, because reality is, obviously, you know what I mean? He hasn't pled guilty. They have some evidence, but I feel like this. They got enough evidence. It's kind of like You Can Think Power. They got enough evidence, but they can't put the pieces to the puzzle all the way together just yet. But they really, really want to. Now, it's going to be easier said than done. And like I said, the way that the prosecutors are going about it, and I'm no professionals, but I feel like there isn't enough I personally think, and until the new evidence comes out, I think it's a lot of holes in the story that they're going to have to spend a lot of time like bringing in. And yeah, it's not going to be a quick trial. If they don't have no real, like, they tried to blame a phone call, but he didn't admit anything in the phone call. He hasn't admitted anything. You know what I mean? I will say this. they have caught some holes in Melly's story as far as like when they asked him what happened, why he didn't go to the hospital with his homie, this, that, and the third. He said he was just going out to clear his head because there was a lot that's going on. So, like I said, he hasn't come. I don't think he's directly give in or told on himself, you know? I will say this, though. I personally feel like they could have put homie, with the trial being delayed so many times, he's been locked up since 2019. I know it's a little late now, but I feel like they could have granted him bail and put him on house arrest with an ankle monitor. But maybe it was just too much of a risk and they were concerned. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's their thing with it. But I feel like I don't like the whole innocent till proven guilty situation in our country, because reality is if you're innocent till proven guilty, then with the exception of a few rules, and I guess this is where the law is saying, like, the reason he's not granted bail because he's that exception where his stuff is just a little too, I guess they consider him a little too dangerous. You know what I mean? If we're going to keep it 100 at that, we just got a new subscriber in the building. Nelson Rafaela just subscribed. Hopefully I said that correctly, and if I didn't, my bad. Just subscribe. Appreciate you for subscribing. Clizzy Kicks, I see you in the building. Homie says, I don't think they have a strong case to convict him for murder. I don't know. We will see, though. I can agree with you as well, Clizzy Kicks, but at the same time, he's in Florida, and I'm going to be honest, man, I didn't know they were still doing the whole death, like, by chair. Like, I don't even want to know. Have you ever, like, shocked yourself, though? Like, by accident? Just imagine that times worse, I guess. But I'm going to agree with you, Clizzy. I think if they had enough evidence, they would have took it to trial sooner, you know? And I feel like I think it's so many, in my opinion, right, and allegedly, I think there's so many holes in the story they can't put together without somebody talking. And they know, I will say them Florida boys hold it down there for the most part. Well, we can't go off X case because always one person gonna crack, but for the most part, either a lot of people just truly don't know, other than the people who did it. And that's all I'm saying. If they don't got no hard video, they're going off of old cell phone messages that don't say anything. So I feel like there's a lot of stuff where they're missing. Yayo says, even not murder, but associated with it is guaranteed 10 years minimum. Yeah, so I'm assuming the other guy, I'm not sure if he's being charged for murder or not, because I don't think they have him as the trigger man, but he's also associated with it. So was he in on it? I'm not actually sure what they're charging him with. I'm definitely going to pull that up and read that up here. Hopefully Dunks gets in within the next few minutes or so. Yeah, I think there's not enough evidence. Manny, I seem like you agree. The time he spent in jail still counts to his conviction time. But this the thing though, right? I'm thinking, like, I don't know if they will give him time. Well, this is my thing. If he's facing the death penalty, if you don't beat it, all that time, it don't matter about your time served. You going, you man. So didn't Melly said it was a drive-by? Yeah, he did. He said it was a drive-by that shot at them and, killed two of them. So that's Melly's story. Right, and apparently, I think his homie that's with him on the same thing. So, if both of their stories is lining up, then yeah, you know what I'm saying. They ain't nothing they can really do. I will say this, right, to the victims' families. A lot of people don't. I know we saying free Melly, but a lot of people not thinking about that. You know what I mean? So you definitely got to think about that. Clearly Kick says, yeah, that's crazy. If he's proven innocent, he still loses 5 years of life. The justice system is flawed in that aspect. That is a fact, right? And this is my thing, right, Clizzy? If he beats the case, y'all, and y'all sign off on this one, let me know how I feel about this. Because I've always questioned this, and the answer's always been no from multiple people that told me. If you get locked up, no bail, for 5 years, and you beat the case, shouldn't they have to pay you for all the time? They should pay them, like, how much? This is my thing, and I was thinking this before I even hit the start button on the live. If you literally, right, been locked down for 5 years, you beat the case, you come home free, but they like, okay, cool, he hasn't really been able to work like he normally should have. Shouldn't they pay this man at least for all the time that he's lost? I feel like he deserves that. You guys got it wrong. Even if y'all know he quote unquote did it, but if y'all can't prove it, if he beats the case, then yes, you need to pay that man. You need to pay that man for the time that he's lost with his families. Think about it. I don't know how much of a bag Melly was getting, but I'm assuming he was taking care of his family members to the best of his ability. And I'm going to just leave it at that. So, yeah, you got to think a lot of that. Boss Leany says, I don't know. I believe Melly killed his friends. I mean, I can see where some people could go down that road, but what would be his motive? You know what I mean? Was there like, there shows no signs of like them guys even getting into it unless, and my thing is this, like, is it even like premeditated or anything? Because think about it. If they all cooling and chilling, and like if it's me, Dunks, and a couple people on the whip, and like we just kind of lose it, then I mean we just go off on people. That's not premeditated, but I mean like I don't think I would be that mad where, you know what I mean? And they're driving, so I'm just curious, was there like a backstory? And I feel like there is a lot of loopholes missing in the story, and I feel like that's where the cops or the prosecutors, they're struggling to figure it out, but they're grasping for straws, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very curious where that's gonna go and how it's gonna be. Let's see. Nell says, if he gets out, won't people try to kill him? I don't think so. I mean, I don't see how. I don't see why. I mean, it's a possibility always. You got to look over your back. But I mean, I haven't seen anybody necessarily. Honestly, it seems like he's got more support of him trying to beat the case than anything. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't seen nobody really come out. And I think the family members, they may feel some type of way, but at the end of the day, I think they just deep down don't know. Yayo says, I saw a story of someone wrongly convicted, did like 50 years and no money. Yeah, that sounds about right. I believe you. One of the people that I do want to touch on, probably on the next Music Monday, is C Murder. I feel like he was wrongly convicted, man. And we can go down the rabbit hole. That's like a whole nother story, too. Jason says, it's going to be a while, but they want him dead for the case he beat against the cop. No matter what the evidence is feel like it's going to be like Asad in Maryland. Okay, I'm not sure who that is. I may have to look that joint up. Yeah, I heard that, too, when I was doing research for this live. I heard that Melly apparently also, they got him on the hook for saying he killed a cop or something. I don't know if it's true, but I'm saying that's just what I heard. Florida laws are hella whack is what Manny is saying. All the laws across the board could use some improvement, man. Let's just keep it 100. We're following a lot of stuff from back in the day that like we keep it 100. It's different times now. Gayo says they won't let him off without security/surveillance. True. I mean, it just depends. Like I don't know how it's gonna go, but I think like I will say this. For somebody who's been locked down for like 4 or 5 years, homie is keeping the good spirit, man. He's every picture I've seen him on, he's smiling, but it's kind of like a devilish grin too. But I mean, that doesn't mean he's done anything too. You know what I'm saying? I definitely gonna start this joint in a minute. Trying to give Dunks a few more minutes here. Clizzy Kick says, I don't know. I'm off subject, but what's going on in Takeoff case? I ain't heard no development in a few months. Takeoff case against where I guess what against a label? Oh, no. I'm thinking Offset. You talking Takeoff because of what happened in Takeoff. We definitely got to touch on that one, too. I haven't heard much on that one as well, Clizzy, but I think the guy who they tried to say did it, they have granted him bail since then. I'm almost positive he's been granted bail. So that means things are going to be that's going to be a drawn-out one, too. Because in Florida, in Texas, because that's where that happened, their stand your ground laws are light. I mean, if you just say you had a reason, you know what I mean? It seems like it's going to be okay. But homie's been granted bail to the best of my knowledge. Yayo says, shit look like at Snoop's case, same story, no money. Yeah, that's the thing. These guys, I don't think that's fair, man. They got to give these guys compensation for that, man. Especially if they stay locked down that whole entire time. You know what I'm saying? Jason David says, even if it isn't, they want him dead from suspension and conspiracy. Like you said, they're picking at straws at this point. Yeah, they don't care what. They don't care as long as they can find them on something. You know what I mean? But a trial by juror, right? It's supposed to be like a trial by your peers. So at this point, it really boils down to those cases not only are expensive, but you're basically getting on there and telling both sides of their stories, arguing against each other's point, and you got to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? I've been picked for jury selection one time, and thank God I didn't have to go. But I I've heard, and you're not supposed to technically talk about it, but I've heard people tell me that it's not an easy thing as much people think it out to be. And especially like me, Dunks will probably put me in the attorney spot where like I'll argue all day long. You know what I mean? I'll argue all day long. Clizzy Kick says murder on my mind was my shit low key. That shit is slap. Most definitely. I was playing it a lot. Probably still do from time to time. I like that thugged out joint with him and Kodak too. It go hard. Yayo says they want to kill ghetto mind of thinking you have to go violent every time. Man with the Kick says that's why they dragging out the case trying to find anything. Most definitely. I can agree with that, allegedly. Also, Emmett said he killed his ex-girlfriend and was supposed to get death out of was so drawn out. After a while, they decided they didn't have enough evidence to... Yeah. So, I mean, I'm thinking that's what with Melly. I personally don't see... I know they have a lot of evidence, but it's not... You got to have all your ducks in a row when you go to court, man. I haven't seen any late update real quick. I'm going to just check through like a quick source. But I don't think I've seen any update just yet on it. Because if it is, like, I mean, reality is Florida, it's like 7 o'clock there. So whatever it is, those guys should have been adjourned by now. But I have a feeling they may get stressed out just a little bit more. But don't quote me on this. So we shall see. Yeah, I don't think they put anything up there. We probably won't hear nothing until tomorrow. But I definitely wanted to touch on this tonight, man. Y'all smash the like button, sub up. Let's see. A lot of people trying to make this a race thing, which I think is crazy card to pull. I can see how they can make it a race thing. Yeah, yo. And let me clarify this. Like, I grew up predominantly in the South. And not to pick on the South, but it's still a lot of racism down there. And those, like, you know what I'm saying? He is in that situation where he's kind of outnumbered. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I can see how some people at borderline could think that. This autocorrect shit is stupid. Hey, man. My bad, man. That's just how YouTube is be sometime. Boys the Ape says, at least we free, thank God. Long live the Draco the ruler. Yeah. R.I.P. Draco the ruler. I've been listening to his music. Is he free? No, he's not. If you're talking about YNW Melly, he is not free. He is definitely not free, and Draco the ruler is no longer with us, man. So yeah, I wouldn't use those terms all the way. Let's see. Yayo says, yeah, outnumbered, but since such a high profile case, you can't make a racist or people will see it. Yeah, this is true. And you can think, I hate to bring this up, but you can think of the OJ case. They turned that into a quick race thing, and you know, whether OJ did it or not, let's see. He says the Melly is free. I don't think Melly's free right now, homie. Unless it's some breaking news right now, I don't think he's free. Unless I'm just living under a rock. I think you're saying free Melly. Well, that's fine. Yeah, like I said, I really do hope the best for him to keep it 100 because think about it. He is only 24 years old and he's been locked down for 5 years. So that he got locked up when he was like 20. You know what I mean? So homie been, you know, he don't miss. He still, if he get out, he still got time. But yeah, I think, it's going to be a tough time for real. Let's see. Miranda says, when do you think there will be an update on this trial? I'm thinking it's going to be one, I'll say probably this time next week, man, because they're supposed to be pricking. I'll say this, if they had to delay the case, that'll probably come out probably by tonight or tomorrow. But if they start pricking jurors, then we'll probably see an update here within the next like week or so. You know, it just varies, but I'm very curious how it's going to go. Clizzy Kick says, we living in a terrible times. I don't know about y'all, but for me, death and murder seemed so normalized back in the day. It wasn't glorified like it was today. And I wish we can spin the block back to the good old days. Facts. Yeah. And I say that, man. I'm not going to say who I think is doing it the most, but me and a couple of other guys I was just chilling with, man, I think now that's just like back in it. I say the difference between now and back in the day, people fought it out and then you were friends the next day, or you just took your L and you guys agreed to go the separate way. Now you got a problem. Everybody just quick to just grab their gun and handle business. Let's see. Let's see. We got Michael Myers, Crazy 88 says, yeah, I know he is coming out. That's for sure. Okay, so you think he's going to beat the case. Strong possibility. Like I said, it's still a 50-50 chance, man. I'm going to share my screen here. I think Dunks is still running a little behind, so hopefully whenever he gets on, he'll just text me. But I'm going to share my screen. I want to read through this article real quick. The latest and greatest of what I got on it and what I found. So I want to get you guys' thought on this. Let me share my screen. And boom, right here. So life or death, fate of murder on my mind rapper rests in the number eight judge rules. So I guess that's how many jurors is going to be. 8 jurors. So he says, I pray he comes out of jail, man. It's a lot of Melly fans in here, man. I respect it. Let's see. I'm not going to play this right here. It says, rapper YNW Melly's murder trial is expected to start the week of June 20th. So apparently it's okay, cool. That's an update. So pretty much June 20th. I guess they're supposed to pick jurors now, right? So this is when they're picking jurors on the 5th, but it's supposed to start the week of the 20th. But before the first juror has been picked, a judge on Friday lowered the threshold for a death sentence should be convicted. So looks like they have the right to say like, hey, yeah, from what I'm getting from it, hey, if he's found guilty, he can get the chair. Broward Circuit Judge John Murphy granted the state prosecutor's motion to follow a new law that allows jurors to recommend a death sentence with an 8-4 vote instead of unanimous vote. So, okay, so it's still going to be you're judged by 12. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you're judged by 12 and 8 to, like, all it needs is what? 8-4 vote. So instead of unanimous, like, I guess if majority rules is what I'm getting from this. Let's see. Clizzy Kick says, I'm not going to say free him out of respect for the victims, but I hope he gets a fair trial. That's a valid statement, Clizzy. I can respect that. I respect that. Most definitely. I hope he gets a fair one. That's what I'm hoping as well. Let's see. Will they have an open court hearing? Something tells me, even if they don't, with this being so publicized, it probably will leak on the internet regardless. And if it do, I'm definitely going to cover it. Let's see. The push to reduce Florida's death penalty threshold was inspired by the convicted Parkland school shooter not getting the death penalty due to a split jury. Oh, okay. So when it was a split jury, meaning I guess it was deadlocked, the guy who did the shooting in Florida, he didn't get anything. So I feel like that's not, if that guy can get a break, Melly should get one too, even if he is convicted, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like how they changed that. You know what I mean? So I'm going to just leave it at that. I don't like how they changed that at all. Look like we did just get a new member that signed up for the Sold Out Discourse. Appreciate that, homie. Y'all smash that like button for sure. It says, Melly, best known for a hit song Murder on My Mind, was arrested on 2 counts of first-degree murder on February 13, 2019. I don't know where he is. He said he was on the way, man. I don't know where he is. I'm checking my phone. He ain't text me. But if he get in, I will add him on immediately. But yeah, so Murder on My Mind was arrested on 2 counts of first-degree murder on February 13, 2019. Since then, he has been in Broward, Maine jail despite efforts to get released at the height of COVID-19 pandemic. So I remember that, and I remember all those times he tried to get bail, you know, because they were letting a lot of people out on early, you know. But I guess he wasn't one of the people that was chosen. The 24-year-old's death penalty case is among the first considered after the change. The 8-4 vote to recommend a death sentence is the lowest threshold in the country. Wow. Man, I hate it for him, man. Either way, no matter how you slice it and dice it, I don't even know how I could handle something like that. Anybody knows when a tribal grant? I just read that TMZ. They said that it should be June 20th anticipated. June 20th. That's when the date's supposed to start, everybody. June 20th, because a lot of people have been asking that the entire time. June 20th is when the case is anticipated to start. Let's see. Murphy wrote in the order that the decision was not fundamentally unfair for Melly, nor would it violate his right to due process of the law. So pretty much he basically lowered the threshold off of technicality of what I'm getting out of it, right? A stage drive-by shooting. Okay, so this is what they think he did allegedly. Everybody, this is what they think he did. He says, in the early morning hours of October 26, 2018, co-defendant and co-defendant Corton Henry rushed into Memorial Hospital's emergency room. According to the court records, he told medical staff that two men were shot inside his 2018 Jeep Compass. Okay, so they were in a Jeep Compass. He says, hey, all y'all, so what happened? Can someone tell me the result? It hasn't started yet. The trial starts June. I thought it was according to this, like he said, it's anticipated to start June 20th. Yeah, like I read this, it's supposed to start the week of June 20th. So I'm assuming whatever June 20th fall under, that's when it's gonna start. So it should be then. You saying June 12th? Shout out to the Discord Bing Bong. Okay, so June 12th. So I've heard June 12th. I seen June 20th. So sometime, hopefully within the next week or two. That's fair to say that, right? He needs more game to represent him as a lawyer. I think but he got Boosie lawyer. He got Boosie lawyer, bro. If Boosie got off death row, I'm assuming he's got a good lawyer, man. I don't think that's the case, but I don't know. Melly is getting an update June 20. Okay, he's getting an update. Says, okay, thanks for the info, bro. No problem. But a stage drive-by shooting, right? And I just want to touch on this because I haven't covered this live yet. In the early mornings hours of October 26, 2018, co-defendant and confendant Carlene Hendry, or what is it? Carlton Hendry rushed into the hospital emergency room. According to the court records, he told the medical staff two men were shot inside his 2018 Compass. The police officer found Anthony Williams, 21, in the front passenger seat with a gunshot wound to his head and torso, and Christopher Thomas Jr. These are the people that died. RIP to these young men, because 21 and 2019 is a very young age to go at, man. So RIP to those, and hopefully the family gets some form of justice, whatever that may be. In the right passenger seat was with a gunshot wounds to the back and head. So yeah, you back and head. That's how you can't argue. You can't fight self-defense in that one, because if you shoot somebody in the back, it's hard to win a self-defense case on that one. They were already dead. I'm not saying that's the route that Melly them taking, but I mean that was our pride, because they think those guys drove around till they had a plan together, right? My thing is this: if that's the case, they already knew there was no way they could really. To be honest, I find it hard to believe that these guys were able to just sit around and think this all the way out. If I kill somebody, the last thing I'm thinking is like having unless it's like premeditated, but even the premeditated stuff don't always go according to plan. You know what I mean? I just don't see. I'm not saying these guys aren't creative, but I just don't see them like having a plan together within a few hours. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible, but I just find it interesting. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. But they said, yeah, it was a drive-by shooting, but he was with the people, but he did not shoot after they named a song called Murder on My Mind and went viral and was guilty. Okay, was a crime the right way? What is crime the right way? I mean, there's really no right way to really do a crime, man. The stuff you see on TV is not realistic. Look like we got Dunks in the building, everybody. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm going to add them on here. Give me like 2 seconds. Hold on, Dunks. Cool, let me get this. I'm about to get Dunks in here real quick. 2 seconds. All right, cool. Dunk should be coming up in his joint. Say something.
Yo, what's going on?
Yo. Go ahead and do your introduction, man. I was just covering this. Yo, this is Dunks, everybody. Welcome, Dunks in. Smash the like button.
Yo, what's up, everybody, man? Hey, sorry I'm late, man. You guys know how my Mondays go. A little hectic. But I told Polo 20 minutes. It actually turned out being more like 50 minutes. My bad, my boy. But you know how stuff go. You can say one thing, and it's always another thing.
Most definitely, man.
But,
So I was just reading the article on your boy Melly. I know Dunks is a big fan, and seemed like we got a lot of fans in here for Melly tonight, man. Y'all smash that like button.
Yeah, man. I mean,
What are
I'm
your
sorry.
thoughts on it? Because right now, I don't know if you noticed or seen what was out there that I put in there, but apparently they're aiming for the chair, nothing less, if
Yeah, yeah.
found guilty.
Well, I've been reading up on this. So he originally had the death penalty from the beginning. Then they dropped it. Then something reopened the case, and now he's back on a death penalty. And what isn't he supposed to technically go to trial like on the 20th, if I'm not mistaken, something like that?
Yeah, June 20th. But Manny said somebody in the Discord said that it started the week of June 12th. So we'll say roughly probably the second or third week in June, right?
Yeah. But I mean, in the whole situation, I mean, like I say, I read up on it. There's this one YouTuber that I follow. Who he's covered the story, a lot. He went into a lot of detail. Uh, his name's Cuff Boys. I don't know if anybody watches him, but he went into detail into it a lot. So I mean, it's kind of hard because you got to think the way that the story is laid out and the way that the prosecution, the way that they have it, and the way, like I said, the way they painted the story is like he did do it. Yeah.
So,
Huh?
so in your opinion, do you think he got a do you think he got a chance of beating the case?
Well, I'd say he's got a 75 is 25. If I'd say 75 being on him not seeing the light of day again.
It ain't no light of day. This is
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
no light of
Yeah.
day, no type of light. Yeah,
Yeah.
This so I mean, and this is what are they gonna do this in Florida? Because as far as I knew, I
it's
thought
Florida.
Texas was like one of the only states who still did the
Nope, Florida one of them.
well, maybe I mean all states still have death penalty, but some practice
New York, I think don't have it no more.
was like the chair or the injection.
Yeah, I've heard, and this is what you kind of miss. There's a chair option. There's the injection, which I heard is very painful, which I'm assuming the chair is painful as well. And then apparently there's a pill.
Well, who would know that it's painful? Who get to?
I mean, I would assume it's not gonna feel good, bro.
No, but how would that person know? How do they?
I'm assuming I'm assuming the people who do it see the people's reaction. You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, I get that part. Yeah, but I mean, I think Texas still does the chair.
Yeah.
That's why I was hinting like.
So my thing is this: do you actually think he did it? In your opinion, allegedly, this is all alleged. I just want to get your thoughts, like, because he said it was a drive-by shooting and they got shot up, and also you knew that it was another person it was four of them, and I guess him and the guy keeping the same story. Because it's two people that's dead, two of them survived.
Yeah.
If it's based off his story, it was a shootout, right? And two of them survived, and two of them didn't.
Two in the back survived, and if you're thinking of, well, the two in the back survived, which would, I mean, because how they would, if it was a drive-by, then, I mean, I guess they could hit the driver and the passenger first, depending on, if they're going, like opposite direction of them, I guess then that can be considered. But still, for the drive-by, I don't think that they're just going to be that good of a shot to only hit the two in the front and kill them both and miss those two, and then nobody's that good of an aim to where the car wouldn't look like Swiss cheese.
I mean, it is shot up, but I guess from what the prosecutors, they're saying what you're saying, it should have been a lot way more holes in the car,
Yeah, because like I say, nobody, unless you just got a Marine Navy SEAL sniper on your team who can get it one shot done, then the average Joe ain't shooting no perfect shot the first time.
Well, there could be a scenario where, because I don't think there's video footage of the shooting.
And also, sorry, but also they can tell from the where the bullet entered and exit. You know,
Okay.
so clearly, they can see, and from like they say from the forensics, they can see that it was a close shot because the proximity makes, like, I guess the angling
I
is
got an answer for you.
yeah, but I'm just going off what I've been reading, what I've been seeing, and my own thoughts on it, which is, like I said, I still haven't answered your question. Notice
Yeah, you don't know what to say. Like
exactly. So I mean,
I'm gonna say this. Look. I get everybody saying it. The prosecutors are saying what you're saying. The shooting had to happen with inside the car. This my thing, right? I know you're gonna say I give everybody the benefit of the doubt,
oh, yo, here we go, everybody, yo.
but I'm
According to the
saying who's
attorney Polo,
who's to say that car didn't stop or block them in? They was probably chilling in the car. Our car pulls up. Who's to say the shooters didn't get out of the car to get close up on them and handle business?
well, because
Then you will be. Let me put it this way: if you get out the car and you right up on your victim, who's to say they? You know what I'm saying? Who's to say they didn't freak out? They shot them up close and they got back in the cars and drove off.
because also they can tell these. You gotta think, man. Science and technology is way smarter than us. They can tell by how the shots were fired if the suspect or the victim was in danger or not.
It ain't 100% accurate though.
Yeah, true that, but
It can't. It's
I mean,
still
it's not 100% accurate, but it's 99.9% accurate. They
yeah,
can
but
just
then
tell
it's
by how
still a
the shots were
1%
fired.
chance, yo. That's the point of 99. We can take cleaning products if you're gonna go off that. The reason none of that stuff says 100% blah blah is because simply that if something goes
Oh,
wrong,
okay, well, then, yeah, you're right. Then he's got that 1% chance that, hey, that was a drive-by shooting.
like I said, without no proof, I feel like this. Cool. It's okay. It's like OJ situation where it leads to nobody else but him.
Well,
But
this,
he,
and this obviously we know this ain't no no peanut butter and jelly, simple open and close, 15 minutes, XXX and Tashion case. Well, they had everything pretty much laid in front of them. They could have solved that case in 15 minutes.
I mean, it was like with the X case, it was like we were damn near there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So I'm saying this isn't the case in that situation. Like where those guys were just like they just left their technically they left their doo doo they left their doo doo trail, everything. They
A
left
paper
everything.
trail, a paper
Exactly,
trail.
man. Exactly, man. So what I'm saying, like this one's kind of going to be kind of technical because with with the X case, we still knew the stuff and what happened even before it went to trial. Everybody, we had
Yeah.
already known what happened. It was so the evidence was so out there. And it was so obvious on what happened. You can literally you,
My thing
huh?
with the Melly situation, it happened in 2018, but he didn't get locked up to 2019. So I mean, they still was skeptical to begin with. You know what I mean? They just kept. I guess they got to the point where they got frustrated. Like it has to be him. Just lock him up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
Because he even went to the funerals. He went to their funerals.
well, yeah. I mean, just with it being like, for one, just with it being Florida, and with him being a felon, and with there being illegal firearms in the car, that's he's already guilty of that. You know, him and his other partner, that was with him. So off that, they probably whatever the maximum sentence is, or probably not, because the attorneys are gonna be able to talk the judge up. He's a successful rapper. He's done good for his community. He's giving back to the state of Florida. The all mushy tushy talk the attorneys give the judge. On these celebrities.
Yeah.
Whatever the maximum is, he'll probably get a third of what that is. So if it's 10 for being a felon with a gun, like I say, I don't know. Anybody correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say it's 10 years. I say they're probably gonna give him 2, 3 max, 2.5 max.
From what I'm reading, he's getting the maximum.
But that's if he's convicted on the murder charge. I'm saying off the gun charge. of him being a felon just in the car.
I don't even think they care about that.
They're not gonna throw. They're gonna get him on something. They're not gonna just
If
let
they
him.
get him on a gun charge for not supposed to
It's a
have.
law. They're gonna have to do that.
I don't think they can get him on the gun charge, homie, because if he say he didn't do it,
But he's still, even if you say he didn't do
did
it,
they find a gun on him on the scene?
it
No.
doesn't.
Yes, it does. Okay, why I
So
don't
there
know.
was no, also there was no gun in the car at all.
No,
Oh,
they
okay,
just found
okay.
bullet casings. They didn't find him with the gun. The guy, it was a drive-by shooting. Those guys left. They shot and left. So, there is no, and think about it, he didn't get locked up until 2019. So basically, even if they came to lock him up, I haven't read nowhere where they getting them for a gun. There's no gun charge because there wasn't, you know what I mean? I don't think they have proof of whether those guys had a gun in the car or not. They're saying they did, but keep in mind, it's not like the cops pulled up on them and said, like, hey, we were shot at and we shot back in self-defense. They're not fighting self-defense. They saying they were attacked and they just were lucky enough and blessed enough to survive. That's their case. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. So man, what was I gonna say? Damn, I forgot. But anyway, yeah, no, I get what you're saying though. That's true. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully, him and his partner, hopefully they get out, and get to continue on with what they were doing, because like I said, Melly was on his way, man. He was on his way to being a good star.
I like his music though, for real.
He already had a song with Kanye and everything, man.
Yeah.
Like already, and how long it takes at this point getting a song with Ye is almost like trying to get a song with Jay-Z,
Yeah.
So you gotta think, Lil Pump had one, but but anyway though, but still on the same level, which that song, for even we can hate him if we want, that song is gonna keep Lil Pump fair for the rest of his life,
to a certain extent. But yeah, I got you.
As long as it's on the air, as long as it's out there, somebody's gonna be discovering it every day. Music lives forever.
Yeah, this is true.
So
I think this, man. I think if it was an open and shut case, they would have pushed to get the joint. I feel like they tried to bleed him out to pray that he comes clean.
Mm-hmm.
But I say this, homie, one tough cookie, man. Because he's been locked up since 2019, over 4 years.
Yeah. Hey,
some people
name in the recent years, name one person out of Florida that's snitched or that's went to jail and got out on some police stuff,
None, man, to be honest.
Not one artist from Florida.
Nope. And even Pooh Shiesty, which we definitely got, that's gonna be another topic.
Yeah.
I think he locked up in Florida. He pled guilty before. He pled guilty.
He don't got it. He has nobody to snitch on.
Yeah,
he clearly said it. If you haven't seen it, if nobody's seen it, which I don't even know if they still have it online anymore, the incident that happened of him firing the gun in the club, because I saw the video when it was posted on World Star.
Yeah.
He clearly said in the video, if I can remember, I think he was like that, don't nobody let me touch my money. Nobody let me touch my money. So his was clearly, and also they have him on video doing the what was it, the shoe deal when he was in the green McLaren.
That's what I thought you was talking on.
No,
but I know what
the other incident. Yeah, the security.
The club incident. That one that ain't one. No, they granted him bail for that one, but considering he had an open case, they said nah, they still holding him for that. But
and they granted him bail, but he still has to go to trial for it, right?
Yeah, this is my thing. He almost got for all that. The only reason he didn't get bail because they were like, we already got you from McLaren. Yeah, we already got you from McLaren stuff, and you keep playing with guns. Now that's why he's being held. But actually, he already pled guilty. He got 5 years. So, honestly, if he's not out late next year, it's gonna be the beginning of the year after that. I mean, because he sat down there for a minute already. You know what I mean?
And then it's gonna be Shiesty season all over.
Yeah, exactly. So, can he come out? Do you think he's still gonna have either one of these guys? And we can take it back to Melly. If Melly beats the case, can we get a song that everybody's gonna be rocking?
Well, look at this. Pooh Shiesty has been locked up for how long now?
I think he was locked down for 2 years and then pled guilty. So that's why I think he's gonna
So
be
has
out in
he dropped
another year.
any music? Has he dropped any music since he's been locked up?
They dropped something, but you can tell it was all pre-recorded and rushed, and it wasn't like it wasn't what you can tell it wasn't finished. I'll put it like that.
Just some over the phone jail music.
Now you can just tell it was pre-recorded stuff, and he had stuff that it was supposed to go down, and obviously he had been working. I mean, I'm assuming he had been working. It just wasn't, you can tell the finishing touches wasn't on it yet.
Yeah.
So that's my thing on that. But let me read through the rest of this article real quick. I was covering pretty much the stage drive-by shooting. That's what they said that happened. Henry court records say that recounted their whereabouts that night. He told police the trio had left the New Era recording studio in Fort Lauderdale when a car pulled up next to them on the Murmire Parkway and opened fire. Williams and Thomas, both aspiring rappers, went by YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie. So the two people that I think those are the two guys that are gone.
Who's that? YMW? Who? Sack Chaser?
Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I haven't heard any music from them, and I guess we can see why now.
I guess we never will.
Yeah, I know, right? R.I.P. to those young men.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
I don't know the whole story, but R.I.P.
Yeah, they probably could have been just as good as Melly.
Exactly. Says the gunfire Henry lowered his body. He told police to shield himself. He sped toward the nearest hospital the moment he knew his friends were struck by spray of bullets. I think this is also the gray area is that Melly's no longer in the car. So maybe that's why they're pointing it to him.
Or they're saying maybe he was trying to go hide the evidence or some shit,
Yeah. Police scored the area where Henry said the shooting took place, but didn't turn up any evidence matching Henry's account. According to court records, they came across a witness who said he was at the recording studio with Henry, Thomas, Williams, and Melly that night. Surveillance video captured all four men hopping into the Jeep with Melly sitting in the left rear passenger seat. That's where police later uncovered a single 40 caliber shell casing, not a gun, that's a bullet. 40 shell casing tucked inside a white plastic bag, court records revealed. After looking at the blood inside the bullet-ripped Jeep, police began to suspect that Williams and Thomas were shot inside the SUV, according to the court records. Cell phone data also placed Melly and Thomas and Williams together throughout the night. Court records also, investigators located evidence including another 40 caliber shell casing, which again, a bullet, not a gun, and shattered and glass matching the Jeep on the isolated patch of Pembroke Road. Projectile analysts determined it to be unlikely for the barrage of bullets to have hit the SUV while in motion. So, like I said too, I'm assuming these guys were chilling in the car, just you know what I mean, and things popped off. If we're gonna go off what they're saying is these guys were chilling, things got out of hand, they took care of stuff inside the car, got out, shot it up, and staged it, and then told homie to go there. This is what they're saying that's happening. Is what I'm getting from this.
And they what they said is it was an isolated area. Then they say they found the shell casing inside of a white plastic bag.
Yeah.
So I mean, I see how they're trying to paint the picture too. I mean, they're definitely trying to get him locked up for good. I don't know, man. It's a hard one. It's gonna be hard to it's gonna be sad to see Melly go down like that. If it happens, it's gonna be sad to see.
True. Yayo brings up a valid point. He says, if things didn't happen inside the car, then shouldn't there be a wrecked car if Melly is not driving? There's my thing. I think the car was in park. I think they were chilling, smoking. If I had to guess, they chilling.
Well, still, if they're in a motion, if they're motionless, then that should make all four easy targets.
That's what I'm telling you. And that's why because you were saying like, hey, they were too accurate with the shots. But if they pull up,
I'm saying they would have had to be accurate with the shots to just only hit those two.
Yeah, but I'm saying,
that's what I said. Yeah,
But one also, I seen somebody in the chat that says that one of the people that got shot and killed was in the front, and one was in the back with Melly. So,
No, they were both in the front.
oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay. So I hear that that's gonna be probably some mixed information, but I'm gonna go with you on this one, Dunks, because you said you've been following it for quite some time.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Let's see. Yayo says, okay. Chelsea says, I'll fight the cops over Melly. Like what? Got a true diehard fan in the building. I respect it.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Yayo says, does it make sense to have the car in park mode, then go outside and shoot and have it staged? That's the only story I feel like they can come up with, though.
When you don't want to eat fucking 30, 40 years, shit, you're going to get out and do what's possible to make it look convincing.
Yeah, this is true, but I mean that's the only thing that could happen because ain't no way they were riding. Let me read the rest of this article real quick. Court records show investigators located evidence, including another poorly calibrated shades. We read that report that were let's see. The autopsy suggests that the shots came from the left rear passenger side where Melly was caught on tape sitting earlier that night. Who's to say where they was at? They didn't switch spots, no nothing. You don't.
But still, would have still put his other partner in the left passenger seat. Then.
Yeah.
So and even still, if only his partner would have pulled the trigger, Melly was sitting right next to him, and he would have clearly saw it. Which, when their eyes, they'll say, which makes him just as guilty, and he should have might as well pull the trigger himself. That's what they'll say,
Yeah.
So
true. It says projectile analysts determined it to be unlikely for the barrage of bullets to have hit the SUV while in motion, according to the court records. So that brings up that rules out there. They're thinking like that too. Let's see. Police believe that Henry and the rapper drove around with Williams and Thomas' bodies for a while before entering the hospital.
Damn,
fuck no.
That's sick. Like mental.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm not saying I'm picking a side here, but the prosecutor stories, like, I'm sorry, that just I'm not saying Melly they not crazy enough to do something like that, but I don't see, ain't no way, bro. Like, so I think you will be in panic mode. I highly doubt they.
You're in panic mode, so you like don't know what to do with the bodies. You like, do we take them in? Because that feeling of adrenaline and guilt is, allegedly, is building up. So you don't know what to do in that moment. So you just like, all right, let's just drive around until we can come up with something.
To me, it sounds like the prosecutors are coming up more with something, in my opinion.
Well, you think they're trying to make something that's nothing?
Yeah. At some point, Melly got out the car of the Jeep. They don't have no information on that. Melly's obviously not going to speak. And at this point, I'm pretty sure whatever fucking happened at this point, if I'm Melly, I forgot it because y'all have had me locked down for so long. All I know is we got shot up and I got out the fucking car for some breather, and that's it. And that's his story. He's going to stick to it the whole entire time, obviously. If he's smart. According to court records, Melly's girlfriend and mother told investigators that he called them via FaceTime that night and said he was the victim of a drive-by shooting that left two of his friends dead. The mother of Melly's girlfriend, who has present during the FaceTime, said it looked like he was hiding and waiting to be picked up. So he's probably scared because he don't want those guys to come back. And he probably calls.
But also think about this. If it was a drive-by shooting, I get it that they're just shooting aimlessly. But when you think that main target would be Melly,
yeah.
So they're gonna clearly try to aim for him.
Yeah, but they missed. Maybe he ducked down and the doors helped him out a little bit.
But yeah, true. But when you keep firing until you got him.
Maybe they was just trying to get out of there. You know what I mean? At that point, like, we hit two of them, man. Let's get it. Because people think about it. I'm going to say this. There are some people that's bold enough, that's prepared, that will do anything and every time and not even think about it. But there are some people that, like, they're afraid to use their weapon. And when they done it, they get the hell up. Hey, whatever. I don't care. Let's get the hell up out of here.
Mm-hmm. Like, we already got two. That's good enough.
Yeah, it's good enough. Let's get the hell out of here before somebody comes along. I'm assuming they didn't use silencers, so at that point, somebody obviously somewhere had to hear the shooting, but they're in a like ducked out location. Let's see. YNW Melly came into the public eye in 2018 with his double platinum song "Murder on My Mind," which he initially released on SoundCloud. He would go on to collaborate with several popular artists such as Kanye West, Juice WRLD, Trippie Redd, and release his debut album "Melly vs. Melvin" while locked up. So, I mean, you got to give him credit where credit is due, I guess.
He both of his albums he released while locked up.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah, he's been locked up for quite some time, man. And this is another interesting picture of him. Um, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to go off judging what images are because I know what it's like when people look at me and I know they get it wrong every time. So I'm not gonna go there about Melly. Um, Pretty much the only thing that you missed, and I'm gonna read this part as well. Um, let's see. A judge in Florida has lowered the threshold for a death penalty sentence after 24-year-old rapper was arrested on 2 counts of first-degree murder over 4 years ago. Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons. Interesting.
Even just that last name.
Yeah, but jeez, man, I got it. Didn't do him no favors right
He
there.
could have said, he just gave this to us.
Yeah, but yeah, that didn't help. And you know me, I play devil's advocate, but that part didn't help. Let's see. He goes was charged after the deaths of Anthony Williams and Christopher Thomas Jr. the Vero Beach, Florida. Best known for a hit song "Murder on My Mind." That they're keep putting that in there for a reason. They're trying to they want to use his lyrics, but it don't really like it don't.
This multi-platinum song and
Yeah.
we sung "Murder on My Mind." Yeah, okay, we know the name of it. How many times you guys got to
Exactly. Don't say it. I'm personally. I'm not even gonna hold that against him. Like you know what I mean. Um, Says has collaborated with Kanye West. His life is now in the hands of a jury who needs to vote 8-4 in favor of the death penalty. So if it takes 8 people to win, but if it gets 5 more people to vote against it, he won't get the death penalty.
But you also got to think about this now. How many of those people on the jury have children? You know?
True.
No, never mind. Because technically, you're not even allowed to speak on the cases that you're on, especially something so high profile like that. I'm sure the phones are tapped. You know, they like know. You know, so they can hear.
I'm gonna say this, right? You're right. However, people are gonna do it anyway. And let me clarify this. Let me clarify one thing real quick, and I'm gonna let you have it. I know somebody who was on jury duty. Wow, he did not tell me this over a phone, but when he came back to work off of jury duty, he sat down and told us as though we were fucking there. So I'm just
Well, I
saying,
mean, that's after the case is done, you know. But back to what I was saying, yeah, I'm sure a lot of these people that's on the jury have children that's gonna be like, hey, you know, like I like Melly, don't kill Melly, you know, stuff like that, you know.
yeah,
So you know, like, but also
it's gonna be hard to pick some jury for him though, because you're supposed to be tried by a jury of your peers.
yeah, but we all know that's not gonna be the case. They may have one, two brothers in there, and maybe 1, 2 sisters in there, but that's it. That's gonna be it.
Yeah,
You know, that's gonna be that 8-4.
yeah, it's gonna be a tough,
You know,
it's gonna be a tough call, man.
I'm saying, man.
It's
So
gonna be a tough call.
it's the state of Florida too. So you gotta, you know, we already know how they are about the gun law there. If you're a felon, can't be around. None of that. You can't even smell like gunpowder. You know.
Yeah, technically you're not supposed to.
Yeah, and you know, just with him being around the casings, or like I say, it's a drive-by. But you know, how they're gonna try to paint it with just him.
Well, they can't use that against him if he's the victim. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't.
But
Right?
that's still all up in the air because nobody can give a clear picture of what went on. So we can't say who's the victim and who's the defendant, you know, or the assaulter, if you want to say, you know.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll just have to wait until June 12th. June 20th, somewhere in there.
Well, it says his trial is due to begin June 20th, according to Miami Herald. So I've heard June 12th. I've heard June 20th. I'm gonna roll with sometime like the third week in June.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 20th. I'm gonna just go with what they say.
Yeah. Says he has been. How has the lower threshold come about? In April, Florida's governor and Republican presidential candidate Ron DeSantis signed into law a new statute that allows juries to recommend a death sentence with a 8-4 vote instead of the unanimous vote.
Ooh,
Yeah.
damn. Yo. Speaking of which, Florida, allegedly, nobody's really messing with that mayor down there right now.
Nah,
Nobody,
I heard. Yeah, I heard he been on
yeah,
some wild.
nobody really messing with that mayor down there right now. So he's he on one right now in Florida, man. He said unanimous. He dropped that shit down to an 8-4. All I need is 8 yeses. You out of here.
Yeah, get out of here. There ain't no.
That's literally. I mean, you got to think that's surprisingly easier to get than you think.
Yeah, and the unanimous joint, to the best of my ability, if one person is agreed, they have to keep going into some. They all come in
They
agreement.
say, nah, we done with all that. All I need is 8. All I need is 8.
Just for the record, everybody, that's the difference, right? It means 8-4 vote, meaning if 8.
This is only in Florida so far, right?
I think so. So pretty much, if it's 8, because it's 12. When you're trial by jury, it's 12 people. So that means if 8 of them say yes, then it's a done deal for you. But
the other 4 don't even matter.
Yeah, but back in the day, if it was like if one
11 said yeah, right, and one
Yeah.
said no.
Yeah, if 11 said yeah and one said no, that means the jury it wasn't a done deal. So you pretty much had to go. You couldn't get the MAC. They couldn't recommend that. But Florida said we done playing those games. They're playing majority rules in Florida now.
Damn.
It's majority rules. It's not no more like, hey man, all he needs is one of his homies up there on it, and it's gonna be straight. Luckily that they don't know, but that ain't the case. And I'm not saying that's what OJ had. I'm just saying like OJ lawyers played, and they took. I'll say this: OJ lawyers were so good, they made it not about the murder anymore, and they made it a race thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's what they did. They made it a race thing where they're like, nah, this is racist. You know what I mean? Like, and so yeah.
He's gonna accuse a black man of killing a white woman, especially after what we've just witnessed in Los Angeles, California, with the Rodney King riots.
He's talking about timing and luck for him too, man.
Yeah, exactly, because all that shit was going on.
Yeah,
that time, man, the riots of L.A. Watts, all that. So that was a perfect storm for him to, we got this.
And to this day, OJ still says he didn't do it.
But he'll say, "But did I?"
Nah, he said he didn't do it.
Man, this dude plays around so much with that.
I mean, it pays his bills if you're gonna keep it 100.
Yeah, for sure. He's selling that story.
Most definitely. It says it came after public outrage over Portland shooter Nicholas Cruz, who killed 17 at Majority Stoneman Douglas High School in 2018, avoided death after a split jury in October 2022. So, because of this dude, Nicholas Cruz, he didn't get the death penalty because it got deadlocked. So
6 said yes, 6 said no. So they said we're just not gonna do it.
Yeah, pretty much we're not gonna do it. So
I'm sure he's still not gonna see the light of day again, though.
Yeah, true, but he didn't get the. You know what I mean? He ain't. I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, would you rather technically, literally rot in jail, or would you just rather go ahead and just get it over with?
I will say this. I would say go ahead and get it over with, but I know some people that would. I'm gonna put it this way: I know of directly, right, and that should be your hint right there.
Mm-hmm.
This person, while they were waiting to get out, they watched pay-per-view fights. They still did regular phone calls in there, and they were receiving monthly stipends from individuals where they
when that person barely had it.
Yeah. So I say all that to say, the people who got it in for a long time, I'm not saying it's not hard in
No,
there.
I mean, because we know. I mean, I'm sure and I'm sure somebody, some people in the chat may know or have somebody in their family who's done 30 years and gotten out.
I'm gonna say this, right? This individual said immediately said, and I know personally, because you go to jail just hold them. But then once they got sentenced, they actually said they'd rather go to prison because it was better than the jail. The jail part is worse than the prison.
Well, because you got to think, because at that point, because in my opinion, the police and the security and authorities still technically run the jails, but when the prisons are ran by the prisoners, by the inmates. Like the prisoners usually are the ones who run the jails. Like that's their home. That's where they gotta be. Like I say, some are doing 3 years, some are doing 35 years. So
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? They make it their home. They make it comfortable. The inmates run the jail, the prisons,
yeah,
the
most
penitentiary.
definitely.
You know.
I think the jail is to a certain extent. I think my bad. I think jail is tougher than prison.
Well, yeah, because like I say, and in prison technically, prison is once you hit those once you hit those doors, it's what you make it.
Yeah,
Is what you make it. So like from stories I've heard and and some, videos I've watched. Like I don't know personally, but as I say, from the stories I've heard, videos I've watched, how you go in there pretty much is how you're gonna get treated.
yeah, true. Let me hit the rest of this article real quick, and then we're gonna wrap things up for tonight. It says proper justice will be served in the state of Florida. DeSanto said at this time, it is one of the multitude of controversial politics stance DeSantos has taken in his home state. He has backed laws making it easier to own a gun and a flurry of mass shootings in the U.S. and continued his efforts to hinder abortion access in Florida.
So look at this. So this is cut you off real fast. So that's kind of uh, even makes it even worse because he's from Florida, so he grew up around this stuff. So he said, "I'm gonna put an end to all of it. I grew up around this stuff. I know what goes on here." You know.
True, that's a possibility, but at the same time,
But, but see, it's a way to do it. So he can do it for the good. And he can do it for his own personal gain. You know.
yeah, true,
And, you can change for better or for what you're doing with, what you just pulled a couple months back, with the immigrants. Then all this stuff where you're making it to where literally a man can be innocent, but if 8 people decide he's guilty, he's going to jail. He's going to prison.
yeah, true,
This is which I said and that's the way you're making it because some families will probably never see their brothers, their fathers, their uncles again because of this law.
yeah, true. Let me hit the rest of this. Says what? Why could this case mark a terrifying turn in Florida law? The 8-4 vote to recommend a death sentence is the lowest threshold in the country. Alabama is the only other state that allows split juries to recommend death sentences, and it requires a 10-2 majority.
Ooh,
See,
jeez.
see, like that's why I said any other states, all the other states, I think it's like as long as one person says something, you won't get the death penalty. So Alabama is like it takes 10 people to have majority rules, and Florida's now the lowest because it says 8-4. So hell, they making Alabama look like nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a chance.
Yeah, you pretty much like hey, you need 3 people to say, hey, I think there's a benefit of the doubt here, so you don't get the death. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And apparently in Florida, if I'm reading this correctly, you need 5. You know, I know 2 to 5 don't sound like a lot, but that's those 3 people can make a big difference
Oh
between
yeah.
your life.
Oh shit. What you mean? Oh yeah.
Shit.
Those
Hey,
people are he.
hey,
That's your
don't
whole life, literally, right there at that moment.
don't caught don't get caught doing murder in Alabama. Now, on the flip side of things,
Really, or Florida.
or Florida, but on the flip side of things to defend Alabama, if you got a good example of why you did it in self defense, they usually drop it and let it go. I know personally as well. I've seen also know of, and this actually happened to a family member of mine who was facing attempted, you know what, and it got downgraded to assault because they didn't finish the job,
Hmm.
and he claimed self defense. Don't matter because he got out and ended up going back anyway. But that's a whole it. You did all. I'm gonna say this. Think about it. You was facing attempted murder. It gets knocked down to assault. You get out, and pretty much if you put up the right amount of money to the attorneys, you can probably finish out the remaining of your time on house arrest, which that's what they were on, but they violated. But anyway, yeah, I can't make this up.
They were on house arrest probably already anyway.
No, he was already anyway, and he was already pushing it anyway, and he's like, all we do is this, like, and then when you hear where it is, you're like, I ain't even surprised for real.
Yeah.
Let me read the rest of this. Says Judge John Murphy granted state prosecutors motion to follow the new law in the sentencing of Mr. Demons, whose trial is set to begin June 20th. We're hearing that number a lot, so I'm gonna roll with June 20th. What is mom IG? I'm not sure what his mom IG is. She's really young though. I know that. Let's see. Yayo says even if he's found guilty. Okay, here's the main question: if he is guilty, y'all still supporting the death sentence, or no? He just make him do life miserably. Um. So if found guilty, the judge still they can recommend. All this means they can recommend. You're right. If found guilty, all they can do is recommend the death sentence, but the judge still has to make the final call and make the decision. Do you think if right? We don't know. I'm not saying he is. This is all alleged. I'm not saying if he is, but if he's found guilty, do you think he should just have to do the time for life until he passes out and rot in there? Or because I'm assuming this is what he's asking, or do you think they should go ahead and proceed and recommend the chair?
Well, like I say, I would hope
Because you
that.
still didn't answer the original question I gave you, by the way. But I'm gonna try to reword it, see if that works. But I doubt it.
Uh, I can't see him. I can't really say if I think he did it or not. I can't really say if he's guilty. But I will to answer your second question. I will hope that they would just not find him guilty at all, and just let him just do his time on house arrest like that, like young boy. Just let him live all his life like young boy. Be on house arrest for the rest of his life, pretty much.
Well, NBA YoungBoy has another case pending. He beat the first case.
Yes, of course he does.
Yeah, he beat the first case. That's why he's still to be able, but he can't get off house arrest because he still got another case pending. And look at his things though. Like his wasn't like his and it worked, but they pulled him in the middle. They pretty much they said, okay, cool. If you let him out on house arrest and let him move to a random state of one family person that still rocks with them, that's where he stays and he has to be there at all times and he's not allowed to leave that area. All he can do, they pretty much bring a studio equipment in the crib he's living in. He's allowed to have one of his baby mamas and his kids there, and that's it.
For them conjugals, huh?
Yeah, like he can't do. I'll just put it away. In a sense, that's probably the safest thing because think if he was out still being able to move around, he would. Let's just say he would just continue to multiply. You know what I'm saying?
Or if he was out and able to do what he wants to do, it would be way. Him and Dirk would not be. You know.
Yeah, and so yeah, he would, one of them would probably get locked up over that too.
But
Somebody would get locked up over that too. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, I guess I feel like that's what they should probably do for Melly, man. Like let him, let him do, give him give him maybe 7 or 8 years with the 4 years time served. Let him do the other. 3.5, 4 years, uh, get out, and then he can be on house arrest for another couple years. Probably by the time he's 30, he'll be able to make a resurgence back into the public eye.
I see Manny says if he does a song with NBA YoungBoy, that internet might crash. YNW Melly and
Yeah,
YoungBoy.
exactly. No, I agree, Manny. I agree.
Okay, I can agree with that. Let me read the rest of this real quick. Says if sentenced, Mr. Demons would be one of the first to receive a death penalty verdict as a result of the new statute. A lot of firsts that you don't want to be a part of. I'm gonna just
Monumental history.
I don't want to be a part of that history. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly. I don't want to be the first one dead on this new, this new law.
Yeah, most
Hey, yo,
definitely.
let me go second.
Says, what are the changes against him? What are the charges against him? Both Mr. Demons and another man, which is the guy that was in the car, are charged with. I was wondering if the other person was charged. They just don't talk about him because he's not the popular. He's not the popular one of the two.
Hmm.
Um, 2 counts of first degree murder with a firearm that had originally told police that in 2018 deaths of Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas had come about through a drive-by shooting of which they were also victims but authorities believe the incident was staged in a cold, calculated, and they think it's premeditated manner. They think they plan the shit. I don't I that one I think that's a stretch for financial gain, according to the court file. What Melly's the top dog.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but in 2018, I don't think Melly. I mean, Melly never really had a big deal. He never had that big deal. I mean,
Yeah,
he probably signed for probably 150. If that much. You know.
yeah. The day after the shooting, Mr. Demons, which this is Melly, posted on Instagram mourning his loss of his brothers. They took my brothers from me over jealousy. He wrote, I know y'all watching over me, but in February, he took to the platform again and say he was turning himself into the police, referring to rumors and lies. Yeah, I remember him saying he was turning himself in.
So
That's the thing.
if he was turning himself, if he was going to turn himself in, just off rumors and lies, like somebody can say what they want about me. I'm not just gonna do something because
No, so look. I think what you missing, right? There, what they didn't put in here. No, he wasn't gonna turn. You can't just go turn yourself in about nothing. They had to have a warrant out for his arrest, and they didn't find him. Instead of them going out to find him, like he's because it's not gonna look good. But him turning himself in with an attorney, he already he already knew. So he turned himself in, thinking like that shows like, hey, I'm coming to you guys because y'all. I heard I got to. I mean, he's trying to make their job easier so he can get. He was banking on getting bail from what that is.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it didn't. He didn't. But I mean, I'm saying that's what he was banking on. Says, I want you guys to know I love you and appreciate every single one of y'all. A couple months ago, I lost my two brothers by violence, and now the system wants to find justice. Unfortunately, a lot of rumors and lies are being said, but no worries. God is with me and my brother. As he was arrested, Mr. Demons had just begun a concert tour across the U.S. So, I mean, he could have not turned himself in and not did anything. I'm not trying to commit. I'm not trying to give Melly like a lot of credit here, but at the same time, um, I'm assuming that he thinks he's got a good chance of beating the case too. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, if you want to turn himself in, he would have got that YSL treatment. They wouldn't have got him.
Yeah, most definitely.
They would have got Thuggle. He was at home comfortable.
Yeah, they went and got him. So that's my thing. He didn't even do that though. So I feel like he pretty much found out. Hey, they're blaming you. All right, cool. I'm gonna turn myself in on this date. Just food for thought on that. Let's see. Yayo says, dude should not rot in jail or die he if he did it. I don't know. It's something we're gonna have to definitely revisit though. I don't know if he did it. I don't know if he's guilty. I will say this, and I'm gonna end the things out on this for tonight. I will say this, and I know Dunks thinks I'm Mr. Attorney over here. I think there's a lot of room, a lot of open holes in this story and situation. I don't think unless the prosecutors got the whole story, boom, boom, boom. I don't care how good or bad your attorney is. What the attorney should be looking for on Melly's side for any loophole where they drop the ball at. Cool. This is what That's the goal. I would think. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't. I'm assuming that's going to be their first angle from Melly's side with the attorney is like anything we can do to get this mother trucker thrown the hell out and get him out of here. That's what they're working to get him free.
Yeah.
Um, and again, there to the best of my knowledge, there hasn't been any hard evidence to say like, hey, you guys did it. Again, you found casings,
Okay, but then what's the point of them still being in there 4 years later?
because they don't have any other ones to point the finger at. But that don't mean it's not other ones out there.
So exactly, you guys have no evidence. You can't lock anybody up.
I get what you're saying, but you can. And this is my thing too. I'm gonna say this: if they have a hard time picking jurors like they are for, um,
Why
uh,
so?
like YSL, grant them boys bail and put them on house arrest because they've been locked down for 4 years. Even thugs reapplying for bail because at this point, look how long it's taken.
Has Melly even tried to request
Yeah,
bail?
he's tried several times. He's been denied every time. Um, but I do feel like this. He sat down there. He sat down for over 4 years. Um, come on, man. It's not like this is my thing. There's no. I'm almost positive there hasn't been any hard evidence to show that it's absolutely him. And I think the only key things that could show that it was him, either he admits it, which obviously looks like he's not going to do. If he, I'm just saying, I don't know if he did or not, but I'm saying at this point, my thing is this: you already been locked down for over 4 years, going on 5 years. You might as well ride it the fuck out. You know what I'm saying? You might as well ride it out.
Yeah.
But his ex-girlfriend, what you would think, I'm not saying maybe they had a nice breakup, but his ex-girlfriend, she hasn't testified. The ex-girlfriend's mom hasn't testified. So, and I,
No, they solid. That's family, man. They're not gonna.
yeah, so I mean, this is my thing too. I just feel like the prosecutors don't, in my eyes, they don't have a solid case to convict him. And that's why they've been dragging it out, praying that him or his friend just breaks their silence. But I mean, at the end of the day, at this point, they might as well ride it out because I mean, worst case scenario, you get the chair and you done, and you out. And that's just where I'm at with it. But I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna end with this, and I'm gonna let you close it out. I'm gonna say this: he's innocent till proven guilty, and I'm gonna just leave it right there.
Yeah. Well, say the same thing about Tory, but you see where Tory's at, right? You know.
Yeah,
And
I thought about as I was just saying that. All I could think about was Tory.
they had all evidence pointing to where he didn't do it. You know, and we even had the chicks who were willing, who were ready to testify and prove and say that that's not what happened that night. Then they backed out. You know why? We all know why, but you know what I'm saying?
Why you think it's money?
Money, RN. You know, money and RN,
RN.
ROC Nation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Dang, Dunks, they got you scared like that. You ain't speaking on the Rock Nation.
I don't want to get locked up, but yeah, nah. But I feel like they're gonna do what they're gonna have. They're gonna do what they gotta do, and they're gonna, like I say, once again, this is Florida. They're gonna pull all the dirty tricks they can to keep him locked up and try to say that he's a danger to the streets. You know what I'm gonna say? They're gonna try to use all these tactics, and I feel like he's not gonna get the death penalty, but I also feel like he's not gonna just walk free.
I will say I don't know, man. I'm very interested in this one, man.
Oh,
And
it'll start the 20th, so I'm sure they'll probably start airing them on YouTube. What, a couple days after, you think?
I wouldn't be surprised if the next day,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, other than that, man,
Gonna follow it.
what happened? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna follow it. Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. But Other than that, man, I've been on this joint for an hour, 44 minutes. We're gonna close things out for tonight. Appreciate everybody for coming through, showing love, smash the like button for Music Monday, man. This one we had a big turnout for. A lot of YNW Melly fans out there that I see. And like I said, June 20th is when the trial is supposed to set to be started. Um, right now, in my opinion, and I'm gonna close things out. I'm gonna let Dunks take us out too, but in my opinion, there's a lot of loopholes where, in to my knowledge, I don't think there's solid evidence to convict anybody. But again, there's supposed to be a lot of new evidence that's supposed to come down last minute. But again, at this point, I feel like the prosecutors, in my opinion, and all alleged, because this whole live is alleged, they're throwing whatever at the wall they can stick. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Um, let's see. I don't know if they're gonna broadcast the trial or not, but I have a feeling this one, no matter what happens, it will make the news and it's gonna make the whole US news. I know that. We gonna know. It ain't gonna be nobody gonna be under the dark situation. But other than that, man, y'all smash the like button, sub up to the channel if you haven't done so already. Of course, my name is Jeremy Jones. I make content about sneakers, occasional try on hauls. This is Music Monday, and I appreciate everybody for coming through. Me and Dunks will be back on Wednesday with the sold out regular scheduled program. And other than that, I'm gonna let Dunks take us out.
Hey, you guys, thanks for joining us, man. Yeah, this was a good one. Unfortunately, I missed a good part of it, but it's all good. I was still here. Uh, but yeah, man, like I said, it's a tough one to call. We're gonna have to see on the 20th, what's gonna happen. I'm sure this case will probably take, what do you think? Maybe I say a week. Maybe they're probably gonna do it for like a week. Uh,
I think it's gonna be at least a strong 2.
yeah,
Once the jury is selected, it's gonna be at least 2. If TK joint took 2 weeks, theirs gonna take 2 weeks, if
yeah,
not longer.
yeah. But yeah, like I say, it's a tough situation. Hopefully, like I say, they they do get some type of like they do get some answers soon. I mean, and like we say, we it's not uncommon. We've seen rappers, uh, get face hit with 15 years. I mean, you can see murder. Look at these guys. He's still locked up, right? If I'm not mistaken.
What? See murder?
Yeah,
He got life, bro.
yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It's not uncommon, and rappers aren't untouchable. So we know it's possible.
Most
Uh,
definitely.
and I don't think Louisiana and Florida. I don't think that their laws are too far from being different.
True.
So whatever they go by, I'm sure Florida's probably going to go by, and vice versa. But yeah, I just hope that, like I say, that they don't get the death penalty. I hope that they do get some answers soon. I hope that they, eventually get to see their family soon. I hope that it's like you said, Melly is the man. He's the captain. So what reason does he what financial gain does he have from killing his unknown artist partner?
Exactly. Exactly.
What
Exactly.
financial gain will he get from that? What type of clout will he
Exactly.
get from killing some no name rappers? Especially his own partners. If anything, can take you up, make you look weak. Killing your own
Exactly.
partners like that. Especially to sneak them like that, shoot them to shoot them unexpectedly. Let's just say that.
Yeah. True.
Give them a fighting chance if that was the case.
This
But
is true.
who's to say? Allegedly this all happened. But yeah, hopefully, like I said, we find some answers soon. Hopefully, they get some answers soon. Uh, but like my final verdict is, uh, I don't think he's gonna get the death penalty. But like I say, I don't think he's gonna walk free either. He's still gonna have to sit down for a minute.
I mean, he been sitting down already, man. I
Yeah,
mean, I hear what you're saying, but like, damn, like, how much time they need him to do? Well, I mean, because he already been locked up for 4 years. If he get off on the murder joints, hey, whatever else is, hell, put him on probation and call it a fucking day.
hmm
In my opinion. But other than that, man, closing things out for the night, man. Y'all smash the like button, sub up. Dunks, you got anything for us?
Nah, man. Just hope everybody enjoyed the live, man. You guys enjoy the rest of your night, man. And like Polo said, yeah, we'll be back Wednesday with a new topic. And yeah, we'll see you guys then.
Most definitely, man. We're officially out this thing, man. Peace.
Peace.
My God. Let's do the stone. Nene and Birkin, designer with coming, she poppin' too. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with. She ain't gon' waste no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no time. Rolex studded with stones and flooded gems.
Unorthodox speed.
She ain't gon' waste no time. 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 She ain't gon' waste nothing. Rolex is steady with stones and gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on that shit. And she ain't gon' waste no. On the road, she gon' get it. Duffel bag, she come equipped. Fully loaded and extended. She ain't gon' wait no time. Pulling out the light and it brand new. The bag on the arm cost a whip too. Half flip to the side, nails done too. Feet gon' match, little baby so cute. Ooh, she ain't gon' waste. Pull up in the wood, speed race. Drop the top, hop in, let me chase. Girl like to play tag with you, it's basic. You come through. Designer on you like a view. Girl, if it's a secret, I'm immune. With the heavens up above from you. Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with. She ain't gon' wait no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' wait no time. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' wait no time. 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 Nah, she ain't gon' waste no. Rolex studded with stones and precious gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on her shit. She ain't gon' waste no.
Get that ass a round of applause, she bought it. She gon' wear a crown, hard to say that she got it. She gon' shake that ass for the hustlers and the ballers. Shout out to her cousin and the friends, they taught her. She got her degree like her granny and her mama. Fuck them little niggas, you don't want them, you don't need them. Don't trust the white man, they all just greedy. Don't trust these bitches, still got some of your secrets. Let's stay wet like a string she licking. You got a big bag where her bag is deeper. Give a nigga chills like Jeepers Creepers. Eyes wide shut, but shorty still peeping. Big Draco with a drum she keepin'. Big Draco with a drum she get that ass around.
Designer is coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them coming, she coming with. And she ain't gon' waste no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on the shit. And she ain't gon' wait no time. The Rolex is flooded with stones and gems. My God. Let's do the stone. Nene and Birkin, designer with coming, she poppin' too. And she ain't gon' waste no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with. She ain't gon' wait no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on the shit. She ain't gon' waste no time. Rolex studded with stones and flooded gems.
Unorthodox speed.
She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' waste no time. She ain't gon' wait no time. She ain't gon' waste no time. She ain't gon' wait nothing. Rolex is steady with stones and gems. She ain't gon' waste no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on that shit. And she ain't gon' wait no. On the road, she gon' get it. Duffel bag, she come equipped. Fully loaded and extended. She ain't gon' wait no time. Pulling out the light and it brand new. The bag on the arm cost a whip too. Half flip to the side, nails done too. Feet gon' match, little baby so cute. Ooh, she ain't gon' waste. Pull up in the wood, speed race. Drop the top, hop in, let me chase. Girl like to play tag with you, it's basic. You come through. Designer on you like a view. Girl, if it's a secret, I'm immune. With the heavens up above from you. Designer with coming, she poppin' tags. And she ain't gon' wait no time. If you got them dollars, she coming with. She ain't gon' wait no time. She Nene and Birkin, she on the shit.